This might be a horrible decision, but I'm doing it anyway. I am sticking with this new idea. It's less hard than it could be. We should do a murder for the fun of it. Which, like, buddy, don't. About 600 words of notes, a hope and a dream. I'm just getting very excited about this story. It just occurred to me that this video might not have an intro, so hi, welcome to today's video. This is a vlog of my October Preptober experience, trying to get ready for NaNoWriMo. But yes, let's go back to past me to plan for NaNoWriMo. Before we begin, I am sick at the moment, which is why my voice is the way that it is. Nothing I can do about that. I am also massively sleep deprived. I am more jet lagged than I've ever been in my life. I am doing my best. Who would have thought that being on a plane for like 21 hours would make you really tired and also sick? NaNoWriMo starts in about 2 weeks. I think maybe 2 weeks to the day. Today's the 16th. And I've made a decision that is probably not a good one. I've talked about my nano plans for this year and that I'm going to finally work on that project I've been thinking about for years. I have been gathering all my inspiration and trying to work out the story, but currently it is all vibes, no plot. And I've known for a while that the story's not going to be ready by Nano. However, I was going to just push through. I was just going to write it with the knowledge that I'm going to have to rewrite the whole thing anyway because it's not ready. This morning, however, in my very tired brain, I let myself do a bit of thinking. I've been up since 3:30 this morning, so just like, if I'm a little bit odd, just give this to me. I eventually got up and showered, and in the shower I was just thinking about how little time there is till Nano and how the only way I can win Nano is knowing what I'm writing. I need to know what is happening. I need to know the characters. I need to know the world, and I just don't, and there isn't time for me to sort all of that out in this big fantasy story that I want to tell. And so, as of, I don't know, half an hour ago, I decided that I'm no longer going to be working on that story this Nano. I don't know when I'm going to work on it, not this Nano. However, I have committed to doing Nano this year, so I needed to find a new story. So I got out of the shower, and as I was drying myself, I was thinking about that folder on my computer with all my random story ideas that I'm never going to work on, kind of flipping through some of them in my mind, and I don't really know how certain dots connected because I didn't want to work on any of those stories. None of them felt quite right, but I was thinking about the stories that I enjoy and different tropes and things, and something kind of came together in my head. And then I had this one line in my head, and it was just, I think it's because I'm so tired, but I love it. I got that idea and I was like, that's kind of, I kind of like that. I quite like that actually. And then I just started taking notes from my head, and I developed this idea, and I'm really into it. Like, I don't like to talk too much about what my stories are about before I really work on them. But for now, I'll say that it's kind of a dark academia vibe. I would describe it as meta dark academia because the characters themselves are aware of dark academia as like an aesthetic and like lifestyle and like trying to live it, but in their own little weird ways. I think part of it was that I got dressed, looked at myself in the sweater vest in the mirror and thought, huh, I really do try to look dark academia and not live the actual lifestyle of it at all, do I? So yes, at the moment I'm calling this project Suburban Bohemia, which is a bit of a mouthful, but I think it explains it like really well. I'm actually like really into this idea. Like every note I've taken so far just feels so good. So yeah, I'm just very excited and so tired. I'm going to try and get some ideas down today. I really do enjoy this idea, but my brain is scrambled right now. Like I can't think properly, so I'm going to get what I can done this morning, then hopefully have a bit of a nap and maybe get back to it this afternoon. I'm really excited about this idea. I think this is a really good nano project because it would be like a standalone, and I think it's something that would be easier to outline than a fantasy. I can't talk properly. I'm so congested and dry, so I'm gonna go and I will see you, I guess, when I've got more to update on. I'm really excited about this story. Suburban Bohemia, let's go. Hello, it is the next day. I thought I'd jump in and say I am sticking with this new idea. With me, I get really excited about ideas and then completely leave them alone, but I do think this is happening. I'm getting more and more excited about it, but I'm also getting sicker. So I don't know how much work I'm going to get done in the next few days. I do need to do a lot of prep. This is a brand new idea. I need some kind of base before nano. But I can't breathe out of my nose, so I sound a bit silly right now. Part of me was worried that I only thought this was a good idea because I was so sick yesterday and like kind of in my head, but I'm still sick. I'm still sick, less sleep deprived. I managed to get like a whole 6 hours of sleep last night, wild. But I do think this is a good idea. I do like what I'm working on, but yeah, I thought I'd just pop in to say that. But I'm gonna stop talking because my voice is so annoying to me right now. Hello, it's the next day. It's Wednesday, the 18th of October. There are not many days until nano. There is not much time until nano, and I'm a little bit stressed about it, but I thought I'd show you what I've been up to. First things first, I've got my charts on the wall, which is an accomplishment. I kind of hate how it looks because like I've got my nice paintings and then some paper, but these are what I used last year and I just found them really handy. That one's just a calendar so I can see when I'm busy. This one has the nano word goal and where you can write like your own words and total and everything, and you can mark off every 1,000 words, and it's just handy. I've started making a playlist, which I'm really excited about. I find having music to listen to while I write makes writing a lot easier, and because this is like a vaguely dark academia story, like I already have a playlist for that, so it's less hard than it could be. Also, opinions, please. I have an event this weekend. I mean, you're gonna see this after the fact anyway, but still. And I have tanned a lot since last time I like wore foundation, so I'm trying to see if this foundation works, and I think it looks okay actually, so that's why I look a little more put together today. I'm still sick. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm very congested. And frankly can't hear properly. My ears are so blocked. But I'm pushing through it. I'm working. I'm going to be exhausted by early afternoon. When I'm sick, I'm useless by the afternoon. But yeah, I'm trying to do what I can. I've got like real work to do. I've got story work to do. I've got lots to do. And I'm excited about it. I want to make some mood boards. I think there are going to be 5 kind of main characters in the main kind of group. And I'd like to have each of their mood boards just like up above my desk, which is a little idea. I'll see if I do that. I'm sure I'll show you. I think that the rewards jar is going to make a return. If you saw my nano vlog last year, you might recognize her. I basically had daily rewards, so every time I hit my word count goal of 2,000 words, I could get a reward. I need to change my reward system a little bit just because I wasn't interested in a lot of the rewards, so that's something I have to work on, but we'll see. Hello, it is the next day. It is Thursday, the 19th of October. There are 12 days until NaNoWriMo, and I actually am making like the smallest bit of progress. I have settled on the number of main characters, which small thing to settle on, but is really important. I was looking at having it be a group of 6 people, but it's going to be a group of 5. I have a pretty good idea of 3 of them. 2 of them need a bit of work. Their names are not decided on yet, but I'm hoping to get that done by today. I have a long list of things that need to get done before November starts, so at least I have like a starting point. Yesterday I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to work out if I have 5 characters, how many different relationships are there in there? So if person 1 knows person 2, 3, 4 and 5, and person 2 knows person 1, but we've already counted that too. I feel like if this was a few years ago, I would have been able to work it out really quick. I used to be like good at maths. I am not anymore. I worked it out by making a chart and then writing down each relationship. So that's fun. Worked it out. The answer is 10. I, in my head, was like, yeah, it'll probably be like 20. No, because you don't have to go both ways because they already know each other from the other side. This is the kind of weird question that would be on a math test that I would get the right answer to, but not the way the test wants me to work it out. Anyway, that is so not relevant right now. I am excited about Nano. I'm nervous about Nano, but I'm getting to a point where I just want to write. I haven't written properly since last Nano. I tried to do April, I think, camp, but it just fell apart so quickly for me. I couldn't commit to it. I wasn't quite ready to work on that story, so this Nano is the first time I've written for a year. I can't believe I'm giving myself like 2 weeks to completely work out a story to write for Nano. I finally realized that I'm a planner, and then I decided to give myself 2 weeks to plan. But I keep having little ideas about who these people are and their relationship to each other, and I'm very excited. It's definitely going to be a character-driven story, but I think most of my ideas are character-driven. The problem is that often gets me in a position of all vibes, no plot, but the plot kind of comes from the relationship between all these people, and there is going to be a plot in this. I just can't decide which route to go to. So I've mentioned that it's like a meta dark academia, and I'm not sure if this group is going to devolve in the way that dark academia groups often do, and like it gets a little murdery, or if it's going to be like more social, like plot. I don't know. I might like work on both and see which works better. Saying it out loud though, the murder does sound more fun, doesn't it? Plot wise, not in real life. Don't kill people. But yeah, I mean, it's a dark academia-ish story. I feel like murder comes with that, you know, or maybe not murder, but like crime of some sort. Because I'm looking at it as like a meta dark academia, I almost want it to be them being like, should we murder for the vibe? Which is so something they would do. There's one person in the group that would definitely be like, I think if we want to be dark academia, we should do a murder for the fun of it. Which, like, buddy, don't. But for plot, I think for plot that works. Okay, let me write this down. If anyone's curious about my health, my cold is slowly going away. I can actually talk today, which is lovely. It is still early in the morning, so we'll see if I devolve. Not to murder, just to congestion. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm well rested-ish. I've been getting 7 hours of sleep. That's pretty good if you ask me. To get to the point, what do I have to do today? Just based on the amount of time I have today, I'm gonna say that I want to get the characters' names kind of settled on. At least their preferred names, what they're called. I've broken down my character sheets into their actual names, their preferred names, their nicknames, and then the origin of all of them. Because their preferred name, they're all kind of pretentious, right? And they're like normal people though, with normal people names, and they're all kind of like, actually, I don't like that my name is, I don't know, what's the normal name? Simon. I want to be called Edward. It's that kind of thing where it's like, the name doesn't fit the vibe. And like, there are certain names that read very dark academia, and they all totally would give themselves a new name. So yeah, I need to pick their names that they choose, their actual names, and any nicknames that branch off of that. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I am rambling because I have like real work I need to go and do that I'm avoiding, so I better wrap this up and go and do my job. I will see you when there is something to talk about. Good morning. It is the 23rd of October. It is Monday. I had a pretty busy weekend. I didn't really work on any of my prep stuff, so I'm kind of behind. I'm getting a little bit nervous. I think the goal today is either work out the characters or get a good start on my outline, because that does need to be done. I saw a friend this weekend and got talking about this project and got very excited, so it's good to see that I'm still really excited. Like, the idea wasn't just like one little bit of joy, a bit of dopamine from a new idea, but I think this might have some staying power, at least enough to get me through Nano. Hello, I am wearing the same thing, but it is the next day. It's Tuesday. I've just gotten started working on my story. I did basically nothing yesterday. I have finally kind of had a breakthrough. And I was getting kind of nervous that nothing was working, but I think I've gotten there. I think I have a slight idea of the 5 main characters. I've been sitting with 3 of them for the past like week or so, but the last 2 just weren't working. But I think something finally clicked, and now I need to work out the actual plot. But I think I have a vague idea. I think the first half of the story is going to be about interpersonal relationships, who they are, and how their relationships are changing as more eyes are on them. And then something happens at the midway point that then kind of carries through the second half of the book. I don't know the details yet, but I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I have so much to do. It's a bit later, I've been working on my story. I think I know what is happening now, but I realized I never showed you my rewards jar. It's very different to my one from last year. This time they are tiny little slips of paper with rewards on them. These are my daily rewards. I made them really small because last year it was just big and I couldn't keep it on my desk, and so I thought this year this will work better. This jar is a little big for what it is, but okay. So, it's the 27th of October. There are a few days left. I knew changing my story, changing my plans 2 weeks before Nano was going to make things difficult. But I think I was in like denial, maybe. Maybe I just refused to fully accept that it was gonna be a little more stressful. But now, with only a few days left, I am stressed. I've spent basically the last 2 weeks just working out who the characters were. The thing about a found family is that you need to care about all of these people, and turns out it's way harder to like create characters that people will care about. So it's taken me a lot of time to just like work out who they are, and now I have like a few days to work out the plot. Basically at this point I have the midpoint and that's it. I have random scenes, but I don't really know like what's happening, like what is the overall story rather than like the single scene. But I'm just a bit out of my depth, maybe. I don't know. I really want NaNoWriMo to be successful. And it was last year, and I keep trying to work out why it was so successful last year. But I think that was a fluke, honestly. I knew that story really well. I knew exactly what needed to happen. I knew the characters. I knew that story back to front. This one I do not, very clearly. And also, like, I'm just in a very different mental space this year than I was last year. Motivation is a lot harder. The general will to do anything is a lot harder, and I'm just a little bit stressed that I'm not going to be able to get myself to write. I think I want to work out at least the first scene. I want to know how the book starts, because that first day is going to be a nightmare if I don't have that. I use the 27 chapter Caddy-tastic outline most of the time, and I just need something in each box. You know what I mean? Like, I need to know what I'm heading towards, but I have no idea. Every time I sit down to do it, my brain is completely empty. So I think I'm gonna try and focus on that. I do have like real work to do, but I can't do it until I get a shipment in, and that's probably not happening today, so I can use that as an excuse to just not do my real work and focus on this. But at the same time, like, I'm worried that the more time I spend staring at my outline and not filling it in is like the worse it's getting, but like, I need to do this, so I'm gonna do it. Cool. Okay, hello. It's the 29th of October. I'm a little stressed. I have, in fact, not done much work at all on my story. I still don't have an outline, but I'm getting a better idea of the characters still, because I'm still trying to work out who they are, but their dynamics are coming together a lot better, which means the story is kind of coming along a lot better. The first half or so of the story is really focused on their dynamics. Like, it's very much split down the middle plot-wise, like something happens at the midpoint and everything changes. But the first half is very much just like, who are these people and what is happening between them? I've been spending some of my free time trying to make sure my environment is ready for Nano, cleaning my room, etc. That has all gone out of the window. I'm potentially moving my furniture, swapping my bed around, it's a whole thing. And now's not the greatest time to do that, but it's when it might be happening. It just depends on other people, so we'll see. In other news, I do this thing where I try and dress the vibe of my stories. If I'm writing a certain scene, I dress a certain way. You know, I think a lot of people do that. I think it's fun. I remembered I bought this shirt, and I love it. It is just like the most billowy, wonderful, like comfortable shirt. I want that like kind of dark academia vibe, but I live in Australia and it's spring, so it's kind of warm. Today's like 28 degrees. So yeah, this is perfect. I imagine I'm gonna wear it a lot this November. Every time I try and outline, I magically find more important work to do. I'm totally putting it off because I just don't know what to do. Sometimes I find outlining so easy and other times it's just impossible. And yeah, this time it's pretty impossible. I think I know the opening scene, so at least at the start of Nano I can go in writing that and hopefully just connect dots as I go. But I feel like we're more likely to go the route of that one BuzzFeed Unsolved.
I've connected the two dots.
You didn't connect shit.
Scene.
I've connected them.
But yes, it's a Sunday. I'm doing just like a lot of like little chore-like tasks, cleaning and things. So as I'm doing that, I'm trying to work out what the plot of this book is. And yeah, hopefully in 2 days I will have all of the information that I need. I will not, but you know, whatever. Also, this is completely unrelated, but I need to show people, look at these slippers. They're cows. It's a cow. Hello, good morning on this, the 31st of October, the last day of Preptober, Halloween. NaNoWriMo starts tomorrow. I did kind of dress up. I am just gonna be like sitting at my desk all day and then like in my office doing real work, but let me show you the outfit. What do we think? Is it vampire-esque? Is it ghost? We may never know. But we're here to talk about writing. I had a very productive evening and I want to show you what I got up to. I had big plans yesterday and then I didn't do them because I was building a bed frame. So yeah, I didn't really get into it until the evening. I have part of my outline done. After all this time, I finally have a bit of an outline. It's there's not much. There isn't much. One thing that I did, let me open my document here. One thing that I did is my like episode themes. I used the 27 chapter outlining method, the 9 block method, and I saw someone somewhere mention looking at each block as an episode like in a TV show, and that kind of changed the way I look at the outline and helped so much because it's easier to make like little things happen when you look at it as an episode rather than a whole season, say, of a TV show overall. So you're able to focus more on like each flow of story. Oh, words. It's like early in the morning. Give me a break. I'm not done by any means. I have a lot to work out today, but all this time I have been trying to make my character mood boards. I did one of them really easily. It was great. I knew that character and the visual like vibe straight away. And I've struggled with every other character. But on a whim, essentially, last night I got 2 of them done. So that is 3 out of my 5 main characters done. I have 2 more characters, and they are the characters that I know kind of less about, but I am quite excited. I love the way some of these mood boards turned out. I might put them up on the screen. I'm going to eventually, once they're all done, put them up on my wall so I have like a visual thing in front of me when I'm writing. Yeah, I'm just getting very excited about this story. At this point, if I get no work done today, I am going into Nano with about 600 words of notes, a hope and a dream. I was also doing a bunch of research last night on a bunch of kind of authors, poets, people who knew each other kind of during the Victorian era, because a bunch of people knew each other and may have been involved, and these characters in my story would be all over that. They would be very intrigued by that conversation. Even just the way different artists knew each other. So I was diving into the Bram Stoker, Oscar Wilde, Arthur Conan Doyle friendships that were going on. Wild. Honestly, kind of love it. Also, I was looking into like Mary Shelley and Lord Byron. I find all of this wildly interesting. So one of my characters also has to find it interesting because someone has to care about this. And like I can make them care because I care. I was also working on the playlist because I like to have a writing playlist with the vibes of a project. I will say, every Vault song on 1989 Taylor's version made it onto the playlist. At first, one of them didn't, but I was listening to it again last night. I was like, no, it belongs here. Also, I'm just gonna freak out for a second, right? I have called this project Suburban Bohemia, right? That's the name. That's what I called it weeks ago. Suburban Legends from the Vault is the story, like, the vibes, okay, the story of the song doesn't really fit super well, but there are certain lines where I'm like, oh, it's them, like, it's a perfect song. But also, there are 2 characters in it that Say Don't Go is perfect for. I'm like a little bit in love with it. But yeah, I have been adding to the playlist. There's one song that I added just because I like it, but I'm determined to make it fit because the album art has such a vibe. Oh, as I'm saying this, I think I just got an idea. So each character has like their area of study, their thing that they're interested in, the era of art, the area of academia that they like. And there's this one character who I keep going back and forth on. He's kind of like Baroque art, but then also wild. And so it's not, there's something that's not clicking there. I just had an idea. I think maybe he'd be really into that like medieval revival kind of thing. Interesting. Let me Google something real quick. Hang on, when was interesting? Ooh. All of a sudden, I think a character might be into the arts and craft movement. Interesting. Okay, lots to think about. I shall see you later. Ah! I can't believe it's the last day. Ugh. As it always goes, the second I turned the camera off, I had another thought that I want to share. So, give me a second. This morning I woke up at 6 to try and see if I could like do the whole getting up in the morning and writing thing. I naturally woke up at 6. It took me about half an hour to get out of bed because it was cold and I didn't want to leave my warm bed, so it doesn't bode super well for getting out of bed, especially considering the weather's about to get worse. We are going into summer soon. We are towards the end of spring, but it's still pretty cold, especially in the morning, so but by 6:30ish I got to my desk and look, I'd love to say I like got into work and like did stuff. I opened everything up. I was going to try and finish those mood boards. I ended up watching YouTube for like half an hour and not doing any work and then just like going and getting ready for the day. I really don't know if I'm going to be able to get up early and write, but that's when I got most of my writing done, and so I feel like I should. There is something about the time before there is any expectation of you, like early in the morning, people are just waking up, no one is telling you like you should be doing this or you should be doing that, and so I'm able to work better. So I need to work out how to be waking up early. The answer simply is go to sleep earlier. What am I doing? I need to I should have started getting my sleep under control. Hopefully if I remember tonight I will get an early night on Halloween. It's not like I'm doing anything, but you know. Okay, I need to get my sleep under control. Tomorrow I will set an alarm for 6, I think. Get an early start. I'm so nervous. I can't believe it's already nano time again. I also am just like so in love with these characters and this story, and I really want to write it. I love the joy of a new project. It's so fun. Anyway, okay. So, I guess this is it. Tomorrow is NaNoWriMo. I am not completely ready, but I'm excited. I'm hoping that the motivation and like excitement of it all gets me through at least the first few days before I really work out what I'm doing. If you liked this video, you can give it a thumbs up. Are you doing NaNoWriMo? Let me know. Let's chat. Let's be friends. I love to have community during NaNoWriMo, so let's support each other. I'm going to be doing weekly vlogs throughout the whole of NaNoWriMo, so if you'd like to see them, you can subscribe. I upload twice a week, and I will see you next time. Bye.